Good evening, and welcome to the Chamber of Shadows. I am your host, Celine, and I am with our co host. I totally missed a part, didn't I?
Yeah,
It's
I was
fine.
just
It's
gonna
fine.
go. I was gonna
It's
say
fine.
nothing. Okay.
We're a podcast for the dark, haunted, and mysterious, in case you were wondering. I am Celine, and I am joined by my co host, Endora. Say hi, Endora.
A good evening, spooky fam.
Okay, well, to kick this off, I wanted to talk about the little thing that I sent you this morning. So, are we suspicious that something's up with Jason and Amy?
There's something coming.
There's
They're gonna tell us
something coming. So, for anybody who doesn't know, Jason Hawes has been raising money for the Conjuring House so that he can buy the Conjuring House. Try to just keep it protected and respected. There have been mysterious donors throughout all of this as well. But I just thought it was weird because today, where is it? Did I not send it to you? Oh, I did.
You did.
So today, Jason Hawes, it was 11 hours ago. So last night, Jason Hawes posted Hello 2026, and it was this animation. It said breaking news on it. And then this morning, Amy Bruni posted, got some big news brewing that I think is going to make a lot of you happy.
I'm so excited.
Is this two of our favorite people in the works together again?
I think it might be. It could be.
It could be two like totally separate things, and that's fine too. But
it's a collab. I just know it. I know it's a collab.
Well, 12 minutes ago, Jason also posted, today was a good day. Things are moving in the right direction. There should be more information to share by the end of the month. For now, it's about keeping everything, property, land, etc., protected, looked after, and secure while this process runs its course.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. And then there's some woman who commented under it, I'm sure you already know that there's a traitor in your orbit with red hair. Be careful. You always cut the head of the snake. Is she talking about Amy? Because I will throw down.
Oh, listen. You can't call out a ginger like that. Something's going to happen. That's a hard...
Amy don't play either. Mm-mm. So...
She's not shy.
It's weird of somebody to comment that because everybody knows that like Amy and Jason have worked together and everything. So
yeah, and they've collabed before, and I think this is going to be just a bigger collab. I'm sure it has to do with the Conjuring House. I'm convinced.
Oh my god, I might cry when that information comes out. Like I think it's gone through whether Amy's involved or not. I think it's gone through or it's going through. And the second that it's confirmed, I might cry.
So I'm just saying, you know, Jay and Amy, you're activating my girl's estrogen over here, and she's gonna weep. So you can't torment her too long.
Listen, Amy knows that I'll cry. I cried the second I saw her, so she knows.
That's awesome.
She knows. Oh my god. Okay, well, you kind of let the ball drop for me, but tell us, what are we doing today?
Well, today, my intro is going to be a little bit different, but I will go ahead and let you know that we are exploring the haunting of Fox Hollow Farm. Have you ever heard of this case?
Of course I have. Isn't this the Fox Hollow murders as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. No, you're absolutely right.
With the sorry, spoiler alert.
No,
quick,
but... no spoiler alerts.
No. Listen. Just like the news reporting. Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm saying? Is that right?
Yes.
I'm thinking of the right place, right?
Yes. And it's in Indiana. Is that helpful to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It is not the Fox Hollow Farm that is in Kentucky that I kept running into
Oh,
and going, what? What's happening? They're
wait.
having a wedding there? What is going on?
Oh, so maybe
There's one
I
in
am wrong
Kentucky.
then.
Yeah, there's one in Kentucky where it's a venue that you can have weddings and things there.
This is the
Different.
one that's involved with the huge case.
Yes, it's huge. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
I know the case, I don't know the hauntings.
Okay. Well, we're going to do both. So it's going to be a little longer episode than we're used to.
It's fine.
So
Strap in, buckle up, baby.
let's get into it. On April 7th, 1947, Herbert Baumeister was born in Indianapolis. His father was an anesthesiologist. His mother stayed home to care for him and his 3 younger siblings in their middle class neighborhood. From all outward appearances, the Baumeisters seemed very normal. However, once school started for little Herb, people began to wonder. His classmates didn't like him, he was strange, and he asked questions like, what would it be like to drink your own urine? then, then there was another time when he put a dead crow on his teacher's desk just to see what she would do. Herb's father began to worry and had him tested both physically and mentally. The conclusion was possible schizophrenia and or more than one personality present. If treatment was offered or started, there did not appear to be any record of it. He was an average student that never fit in. Graduating from high school in 1965, from there he attended the Indiana University. He wanted to follow in his father's footsteps, but he dropped out in 1967. The only thing he seems to have achieved in college was meeting his future wife, Julie. They were drawn together by their shared political views. After he dropped out, he began working for the Indianapolis Star, Indy's newspaper. His coworkers described him as efficient. Julie became a teacher, and they got married in 1971. Sometime later the next year, he was hospitalized in a psych ward for several weeks. When he was released, he took a job at the BMV. He sent his coworkers pics of him and another man in drag. He also urinated on a letter addressed to the governor from the BMV. No
What's up with him and
surprise.
urine?
He was fired. From 1979 to 1984, the Baumeister family went from 2 to 5 members. They had been blessed with 2 girls and a boy. Both Julie and the children confirmed that he was a loving, present father, spending what little they had on spoiling his children. He borrowed money from his mom in 1988 to open a thrift store. The pitch was people would donate and the store would sell those items inexpensively. Part unclear how much of the proceeds would go to the Indianapolis Children's Bureau. It did so well that in 1990 they opened another location. Random acts of unstable behavior aside, things were pretty good right now for Herb and his family. That's the introduction. Would you like to talk about any of that other than the urine?
Yeah, because that's crazy. Lord. So yeah, I think maybe when you asked me, I don't know how long ago you asked me about it. I know about the case. I don't know about the actual hauntings because I'm assuming you're going to talk about the property hauntings. Okay. Yeah, so I honestly, I'm sure you'll say things that will trigger like something. I really know like the general gist of the case though, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Like you talking about the urine and the crow was familiar to me. I know that he had a family, but like I can't remember any other details besides like some of the bigger things.
Right.
Okay, so was it ever distinguished between schizophrenia and multiple personality?
It was, I could not find anything. And I went outside. I used two major sources, but I even went outside of those sources trying to find somebody saying that they had seen some proof of treatment or anything. Julie never talked about her husband being on any meds or receiving any kind of treatment other than every once in a while he'd just spend, I don't know, a month or two in the psych ward. So
I mean,
it
I
sounds like
guess
he just was never, maybe he was misdiagnosed, but it sounds like whatever he was never treated for it.
I guess that's not super shocking for the time though. Am I right in that? I mean, cuz what, we're in
70s.
the 70s, 80s?
Um, I can remember a little boy in our neighborhood. So these guys are probably like, they're they're older than me. They probably would have been like 10 to 12 years older than me, but I can remember in the 70s being wee little. And we had a little boy in our neighborhood that was receiving shock treatment
Oh,
for some emotional something or another. I was too
okay.
little to know. Um, but that was very, I remember all the moms being very concerned that there was something deeply wrong with this child. And I played with him probably 3 or 4 times a week for as long as he lived in the neighborhood, and he was
Well,
fine.
he keeps getting that shock therapy. Something will be wrong with him.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, I mean, it happened, and I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say it was common, but it
Yeah.
definitely was a
But
thing, and people didn't. The reason that it got out about that little boy in our neighborhood was because he had this really beautiful shiny hair, and when he would go for his shock treatments, they had to shave his head.
oh,
Yeah, so that's how it sort of leaked out that that's what was happening with him.
this is hard. Um, okay, yeah. So very, very different than how obviously things are handled today.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Also, how old was he when he was diagnosed, or at least
So
semi-diagnosed?
it looks like it would have been somewhere between kindergarten and second grade.
That's very young for a schizophrenia diagnosis.
I thought so too.
Because
But
generally,
obviously I'm no expert, but I definitely thought that that was something that
mhm,
happened in late teens, early 20s.
yes,
That's what I thought.
correct.
Yeah.
Generally early 20s. So very shocking to me. Also, from what you said, also doesn't really give schizophrenia anyways.
Right. Yeah. I don't know because if
It gives more
his parents,
sociopath to me.
right. Yeah. His parents maybe knew more and just never
Yeah.
discussed it.
There's a lot of things that people are hush hush about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my family was full of skeletons in their closets. So it was a thing back then,
Yeah.
but secrets are cancer. That's all I'm going to say.
I know
Okay.
that's right.
Um,
All right.
moving right along.
Moving along.
The gay community in Indianapolis was becoming increasingly alarmed at the number of young gay men that were being found dead or not found at all. It likely began in 1985 when Eric Rodiger, a 17-year-old white male, was found dead just off the road in Indianapolis. From 1980 to 1990, at least 9 other bodies were found along the roadside between Indianapolis and Columbus, Ohio. Then, in 1991, the body count came to a screeching halt. What else happened in 1991, you may ask? Herb and Julie were doing so well that they decided to buy a home just outside the city where their children could play and grow. An 18-acre estate called Fox Hollow Farm. Though there were no more bodies on the side of the highway, gay men were still disappearing in Indianapolis. Minimum of 5 in 1993, and no way to know how many transients who would never be missed. Talk of a serial killer was in every gay bar downtown. The bartenders and the DJs were literally announcing that you should not leave any establishment with anyone you don't know, or you might be next. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's very upsetting. Families were reporting their loved ones missing, but had no leads or even a tiny hint. It was the 90s, and being gay was what some police considered high-risk behavior. They weren't saying it was their own fault, but that's what they were saying. Telling the families to bring them something to go on. One family did just that. Roger Allen Goodlett family hired a private investigator, Virgil Vandegrift. He was a retired sheriff and a polygraph expert. He began putting up missing posters right away, both inside and outside of gay bars. He spoke to anyone that would talk to him in every bar, sidewalk, or parking lot that he happened to be standing in. Anyone that knew anything about Roger's disappearance. Yes, they were all gay men. Yes, they all went missing from one of the 4 gay bars in the 2 square miles of downtown
2 square
Indianapolis.
miles?
There
That's
were
crazy.
4. At that time, it is said that there were only 4 gay bars downtown. There were no other bars in that 2 square mile area. So the only bars that were there were those 4 gay bars. Everything else downtown was like on the edges of the downtown, like almost in a neighborhood.
Okay. Were there gay bars? Excuse me. Ooh, were there gay bars outside of that area?
I asked Uber. Uber had family there and was there frequently, and he said he is probably 10 to 12 years younger than these men at this time. So he didn't really know. He didn't ever remember there being clubs downtown until he was like old enough to drink, like when he got out of the Army.
Gotcha.
So just regular clubs though. And now there's all kinds of clubs there. Most of the clubs are mixed.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Anyway, he also discovered that they all went missing during the warm month. So vacation time.
Yeah.
Past that,
are they all locals?
Had nothing. Except for the transients that we don't really know about.
Gotcha.
We just suspect that there are also transients missing, but we can't say that for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Enter Mark Goodyear. In 1994, Mark was a young, attractive gay man living in Indianapolis. He had been witness to his friends and acquaintances disappearing from his hometown. Men just like him. He met a man in the bar in his favorite bar one night, looking at the collage of missing persons posters. He introduced himself as Brian Smart. They struck up a conversation, and before long, Brian invited Mark to come swimming at his boss's house, where he was house sitting. Mark agreed, and though Brian wanted to drive separate, Mark wanted to ride together in Brian's car. He had just met this man, and if anything happened to him, at least his friends would see his car was in the parking lot and reach out to the cops.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something.
I mean, I guess I get like what he was trying to get at. Like if my car's there and I'm not there, then something's up.
Yeah. Yes.
I feel like that was like, which, I mean.
Yeah. They drove outside the city, and Mark remembered a sign that read something about a farm. They went down a wooded, winding drive, arriving at a huge Tudor mansion. The entire house was dark. There was no lighting outside. They entered straight into the pool area. When they turned on the lights, there were department store mannequins posed all over the pool area.
Oh, I forgot that. Okay.
In chaise lounges and behind the bar, some sitting next to the pool, dangling their feet in the water. Creepy AF, but Brian told him that's what his boss liked. He liked having them around. Brian showed where Mark could change in the locker room. He poured a drink for them both. Mark picked up his drink and took it into the changing area. The disappearance had left their mark on him, so he dumped his drink in the toilet and filled his glass with water.
Because I know that's right.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
He came out and joined Brian in the pool. The sliding doors were wide open and the air was mildly cool. Mix that with the warm water and it created a fog that engulfed the whole swimming area, making the mannequins even creepier. Do you want to see a neat trick? Brian asked. Mark said sure, and Brian began to explain erotic asphyxiation. Mark was hesitant, but also intrigued. Okay, let's try it. It's crazy to me that Mark is so smart and sharp in some places and still...
Yeah.
No. As a matter of fact, I want to get out and get dressed. I'm out.
So I wish I could remember more details, but there was a period of time, and maybe it was the early 2000s. There's a period of time where this asphyxiation became like this huge like thing for teenagers. And they would choke themselves to get like this high. Mm-hmm. And a lot of teenagers were dying because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's just, oh my God. If somebody that I just met that night was like, hey,
right,
you want to try this? Like, that's a like sixth date kind of thing. Okay.
Like, sixth date? I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not kink shaming anybody, but that sure as fuck ain't for me. I'm sorry about it. Yeah.
I get it, but it like this with a lot of other kinks are things that need to be done with like people you know and trust, if that makes sense.
Listen,
like
I don't know like whether or not Mark edited this, but there's no discussion of safe words. There's just like, hey, let's try this thing. What?
Yeah.
No. That's a hard no.
Was this kind of stuff normal for that time period? Like kinks and like...
Oh, yeah. I can tell you Akron definitely had like a leather bar. We had stuff.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
I didn't, of course, I was too young. I didn't really understand it, but I knew it existed. And we had a neighbor. He was so hot. He was super gay, but he was so beautiful. So what a beautiful man. Anyway, he would leave it like with his leather gear on. And my mom would be like, close your mouth and get in the house.
Your mama's like, you're supposed to remain a virgin until you're 60.
Well, and also, Mama, not for nothing, he's not looking for anybody like me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Asphyxiation. Here we go.
All right. They began to make out, and Brian took a pool hose and placed it around Mark's neck. Brian began to tighten it slowly, tighter and tighter. Mark became frightened. Is he trying to kill me? Brian persisted. Mark then decided to pretend to pass out and fall backwards in the pool. Brian released his grip and Mark opened his eyes and pulled away. It's you! You've been hurting people. And Brian laughed. I'm going to the police. And Brian laughed again. No one's going to believe you. Who's going to believe someone like you? Mark actually believed that, but he didn't care. He was going to the police, but he had to survive this encounter first. If that meant he had to indulge him to get out alive, then so be it.
You said it was a pool hose that he used?
Mm-hmm.
That's another, like, out of all the things, you want to try this asphyxiation play and you don't just, like, use your hands?
Right.
Like...
Also, how do you leave the trachea clear if you're using a hose?
Yeah. Literally.
That's... okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
we're gonna start a separate podcast on how to properly be kinky.
Also, maybe we have have a listener that might want to explain how some kink works to me, because I thought I knew. I thought I knew about this stuff, but then I started reading this and I'm like, oh no. No. I don't know shit. I don't know nothing. Okay.
Oh my Lord.
Okay. So Mark actually believed him, but he didn't care. He was going to the police, but he had to survive this encounter first. And if that meant he had to indulge him to get out alive, then so be it. They drank and made merry for the next several hours. Brian dropped Mark off at his car the next morning and told him he would like to see him again. Mark said that would be nice, and they parted ways. Mark went straight to the police department and told the detectives everything. Sadly, Mark did not know the name of the farm. He also could not describe the house very well. The detectives told Mark that if he did see Brian again, get his license plate.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm understanding his purpose for taking him back, right? Because it's like, oh, he's catching on. So if I take him back, then maybe he'll think that he just, like, was fucking it up. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. He thinks that he's gonna die, so plot twist, I'm gonna take him back so that when I see him again, like, just yes. It's making sense to me.
Yeah, it does. In a sort of twisted way. Yeah. It does. He's also lonesome. You know, this Brian's smart. He's also lonesome, right? Or why would he be doing this at all? You know, just the basic variety of I'm cheating on my wife.
Because
I'm gay.
A psychopath?
Yeah. I mean,
well, something. I guess, yeah, if you look at it from the gay standpoint, like, I'm married to a woman, but I'm gay. So I guess, like, that's something that I wouldn't be able to comprehend because I'm not gay and I'm not married. But I imagine that there could be some loneliness if you're married to the opposite sex, but
because you're not being your authentic self.
Right.
So yeah, you're not just robbing her, you're robbing you too.
Yeah.
Yeah. P.I. Virgil Vandegrift was convinced that there was a serial killer operating in Indianapolis. It had been for about a decade. He was excited to interview Mark. With Mark's description of the route and the property, Virgil drove all over Hamilton County. But it was all for naught. There are dozens of horse farms with that description in the area. Virgil returned to Mark with the same advice. Whatever you do, if you see him again, you must get that plate number. Summer ended, fall and winter came and went. Brian had given up on thinking he would ever see Brian again. But come spring, Brian walked into Mark's favorite hangout. Mark entertained Brian at the bar while Mark's friend snuck out and got Brian's license plate number.
How'd
The
he know
ne-
what car was his?
I mean, he remembered the car, he just never got the plate.
Oh. Duh.
The, the next morning, as promised, Mark took the plate number straight to the missing persons detective. The plate came back to Herb R. Baumeister, address Fox Hollow Farm. Herb Baumeister, if you didn't already figure it out, which I'm sure you did, is Brian Smart. Detective Mary Wilson was assigned to missing persons. Herb's name and address fell to her. She had already acquired a stack of missing young men cases and had spoken with all their families. This responsibility weighed heavy on her. Armed with tips from the families, friends, Virgil the PI, and Mark, she set out to talk to Herb at his store on West Washington Street. He approached her with a smile and a handshake. She asked him if he frequented any of the gay bars downtown. That's your opening question? You're lucky he
Yeah,
didn't just
literally.
crap his pants right there. Um, she asked him, he denied it. She asked him then how were multiple witnesses placing him and his license plate there? He caved and admitted that he had been to gay bars downtown, but he was married and his family did not know. She explained that he was not there, that she was not there to hassle him about being in the closet. She was investigating the disappearances of several gay men. May we search your property? He quickly declined the search,
He
and
did.
he quickly declined the search and stated that he was not involved in any way. He said to contact his attorney for further questions. She contacted that lawyer 3 times before he said that he even knew him. Seems Herb didn't know that you have to pay a retainer to be represented.
What does that mean?
You have to pay a retainer to an attorney. You can't just say, this is my attorney now, and then he's your attorney. He wants some money. He don't work for free. This is not
I
a
see.
organization. Anyway, Detective Wilson was more than frustrated that she was told she did not have enough evidence for a warrant. Time to change her approach. She reached out to Dr. Stephen R. Naraki, forensic anthropologist at the University of Indiana. He would have some fresh ideas to offer. What if we could get a look without ever touching foot on the Baumeister property? What if we used a helicopter? We might be able to see burial spots or perhaps decomp underground that could be detected with an infrared camera.
Is that legal?
I mean, I don't think there was any precedence at that time. That was a long time ago. It was a great idea. Unfortunately, when they did it, it yielded no results. Detective was back at square one. Herb at some point told Julie that he was being harassed and sued by a disgruntled employee making false accusations. The police might be sneaking around and they must be careful. Over Christmas break in 1995, Herb's son was playing in the woods behind the house with a friend. He made a discovery and responded like any 12-year-old boy would. Imagine his mother's surprise when he came into the kitchen with a skull on a stick. He and his buddy didn't just find a skull, but an entire skeleton. She made him take her where it was found, and it was only 50 feet off the back patio. She waited for Herb to get home. When he came through the door, there it sat on the kitchen counter. What the hell is this?
The skull or the entire skeleton?
Just the skull.
Okay.
What the hell is this? She asked. He calmly explained last time he saw it was when he packed it away in the garage. It was left over from his father's medical practice. No worries, I'll get rid of it. A week later, it was gone. Julie would later say that she believed him because he was such a pack rat.
Was he insinuating that it was fake?
No, I don't think he could have gotten away with that because there's a
Okay.
very big difference.
Well, yeah.
Just visually, there's a very big difference. So,
Yeah.
no, I don't think I think he was trying to say, well, yeah, of course I have a real skull. My dad was a doctor. This was at his practice, which he didn't have a practice. He was an anesthesiologist. So I'm just saying,
Yeah, I mean,
come on, Julie, try
yeah,
harder.
that's totally reasonable for a doctor to have a real human skull just sitting around.
Right.
An anesthesiologist to have a
Right.
skull.
Right. That
Like,
makes no sense at all. Why? What?
yeah,
Was your dad a killer? Why? Why?
literally. God.
Detective Wilson was not making any headway on the investigation. It was time to try a new approach. She would attempt to gain access to the property through Mrs. Baumeister. Her name was on the deed also. Julie was managing the other thrift store. That was where Detective Wilson approached her. She explained about the missing men and that she believed that Herb was somehow involved. We've been married for 25 years. Get me some proof and I'll take you on a guided tour. Until then, please leave me alone.
Oh, so the skull that you just found and the skeleton wasn't enough. That wasn't enough to like, now you've got an investigator coming up.
Oh,
And
no.
that's still not enough for you?
Totally normal. Herb already told me about this person suing him and the police sniffing around. It's fine. It's fine. When Julie told Herb about the visit from the police, he said it was just that former employee trying to cause trouble.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone has their breaking point, and Julie's was threat of financial ruin. She found out that unpaid bills were piling up. And when she tried to discuss it with Herb, he began to lash out. Julie filed for divorce. Herb moved into his mother's condo by Lake Wawaso. Mm-hmm. If he kept secrets about his family finances, what other secrets could he have? She later stated. This was when she decided it was time. Let's search the grounds. She called her lawyer to set it up, while Herb and their son were up at the lake.
No, because this pisses me off because yeah, fuck the missing people, but my finances? Right. Now we're done.
Right.
For real?
Yeah.
For real. I want you to be so for real with me right now. That pisses me off beyond belief.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. And I mean, I've never been in that position, but I'm just saying.
No, but like,
I'm feeling judgy. She's triggering my judge. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and maybe I'm just like, maybe I'm overstepping. I don't know, but like, come on.
Yeah.
You had okay. You found a human skull and skeleton. And then you had investigators come up to you about how they have their sneaking suspicions. That's not enough. It's the money.
That's correct.
Money. Like, it's not enough for you also to find out that he's been going to these gay bars.
Oh, she didn't believe it. So I only saw just a little blip of an interview with her, and she said he was not ever out of the way until recently with his family. So they didn't really, like, they didn't go on big vacations. She would go and visit relatives like all summer and stuff. They just tried to make sure their kids were happy and they had sort of a loving, we're all together relationship. So it was not, it seemed ridiculous to her when it was posed to her in the beginning.
And I'll second your comment. I've never even been married, so I understand the shock that can come with this person that you've known for 5, 10, 20 years. not being the person that you thought they were. It happens. It happens all the time
Right.
in very simple ways and very complex ways. I'm just saying, like, for you to find a whole skull and skeleton and be approached about something like this, and that's not enough, but for money to be your end all be all,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
I
what it
don't
kind
know.
of looks
Like,
like.
it's, I don't, oh, that makes me so frustrated.
Yeah, I feel
That
that.
makes me so frustrated.
So, all the men had gone missing from Marion County. Fox Hollow Farm is in Hamilton County. Hamilton County Sheriff was aware of the case and Herb's suspected involvement. He sent a detective. Jane, her lawyer, and the Hamilton County detective went to the spot where her son had found the skeleton. In 1996, the woods came a lot closer to the house than the 2024 photos reveal. The woods were lush and thick and provided excellent cover. The three of them went straight to the spot and were astonished to find that they were surrounded by bone fragments all over the ground. It wasn't long before they also realized there were teeth scattered all around them. The detective was unable to determine on his own if the fragments were human. He contacted the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office and she reached out to our friend from the university, Dr. Naraki, the forensic anthropologist, who confirmed immediately that these were human remains and they were not that old. Not for nothing, this is the only murder case where there was a forensic anthropologist involved from the very beginning to now. Fox Hollow Farm is now a crime scene. Julie is suddenly concerned about the safety of her son. The prosecutors called a judge who granted an emergency warrant and sent the Stadies to go retrieve her son. The officers presented the warrant, and without any pushback, Herb released his very confused son into the officer's custody. Nothing else was said, and Herb did not ask any questions.
I bet he didn't.
That's crazy.
Well, I think the other thing too, God, I'm looping back to this. Sorry. This isn't like this is somebody who has no history of mental health things. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
especially with him being in and out of a psych hospital and stuff, you said? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
that's
mm-hmm.
another thing of why it's so confusing to me. You obviously are with somebody who's not just, it's not right. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, why is this so shocking for people?
I don't know.
Okay.
The sheriff and the prosecutor's opinion was that they needed more evidence to bring him in. Herb had never been in any trouble with the law. In Indiana, if the accused asked for a speedy trial, which is what they were afraid of, that means there will only be 70 days before the prosecution must be ready to go to trial. When Dr. Naraki arrived and started setting up the search grids, they didn't think they would be prepared that quickly, and they weren't wrong. The doctors searched those grids in the woods directly behind the house, where the original skeleton was found. The fragments were mostly about an inch in diameter and appeared as though they had been left out to decompose and then burned. The forensic team had gathered thousands of samples in only a week. It was the last scheduled day of searching. Everyone was prepared to pack up when two teenage farmhands from next door asked what they were doing. When they were told that they were searching for human remains, the boys told them that there was a way bigger bones down by the creek at the edge of the property. Dr. Nowacki and his team followed the boys to the spot by the river. It's a creek. It's not a river. I don't know why I wrote river. Anyway,
A creek?
it's
A creek?
It's a creek.
Creek?
Are you making fun of me? Did I say creek? Did I say creek?
You sure did say creek.
Okay. I wondered why you were doing that. Okay.
I don't think I've ever said crick in my life.
Anyway, so he followed the boys. Actually, his whole team followed the boys down by the creek. Oh, that feels weird. They were all stunned to see thousands of bones, ribs, whole spinal columns, femurs, all the bones in the human body spanning from the creek bed all the way up the side of the ravine. It appeared that they had been dumped into a compost pile at the top of the ravine and allowed to decompose and be scattered by the scavengers of the woods. The police
I'm assuming that these teenage boys they wouldn't know what would be looking like human remains versus animal, correct?
What do teenage boys know? Teenage boys don't know nothing. Teenage girls don't know nothing.
Well, I'm just kind of surprised that, which again, very, very different time. I'm kind of surprised that they were like, yeah, we're looking for human remains.
Right.
Like,
yeah. They've been there for a week, so I'm sure those kids saw them coming and going, and they were just nipping. It's fine. They were just nipping.
Well, I'm sure they were like,
that wasn't their own, but it's a good thing that they did.
No, but you know what? I don't blame them. I would too. I'm nosy. But I think it's hilarious, not funny, haha, obviously, but hilarious that they're like, oh, wait a minute. We know like this area that's got a ton of bones. You're looking for it's like the 2 and 2 started coming together for them. Because they probably didn't like. I mean, a majority of the bones, I probably couldn't tell you if they were human or animal.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, why would the boys think there would be human bones? Why would they ever conceive of that?
Well, it's farm. It's farm, too. So it's like, who knows what's eating what out here?
Right.
I mean, I know there's a lot there, too. As an adult, I would probably be suspicious. I'm like, why is there so many bones? But as a teenager, like, yeah.
What? I mean, I can't imagine what that doctor, when he walked and he just saw like the spread all the way the creek up the road. We can take a break. You good?
Hold on. Okay. They started to bark, so I was terrified they were about to lose it. I'm just imagining like a movie moment where you come up over a hill and you're just looking out and it's just like bones everywhere.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, everybody doesn't know, but he immediately looks at it and is like, fuck, these are human.
Yeah.
These are people. Mm-hmm. This is people. Yeah.
Yeah.
The police began referring to this area as the mulch pile. So now they've got the one up by the house that they were just finishing up, and now they have another location way at the back of the property. Forensics spent an additional 3 weeks collecting evidence from this site. In the same way, inch by inch, the team found 11 first metacarpal left bones, meaning at least 11 victims. In 1996, DNA testing was not only expensive, but in Indiana, families of the deceased were expected to pay for it.
That's crazy.
I agree. This was a big roadblock in identifying some, if not most, of the victims. Profilers will tell you that frequently serial killers that aren't detected right away become complacent or
Mm-hmm.
lazy, dragging a grown man dead weight through the woods from the pool house to the woods over the uneven ground, up and downhill isn't easy for a single killer. So the longer that you don't get caught, the more chances you're willing to take. And he hadn't been
Absolutely.
caught for like a decade,
Years. Yeah.
at least a decade. I mean, if
Yeah.
we're talking about Columbus to Indiana, I'm not trying to start another episode, but I'm just saying
Right.
we got our
Now,
own problems here.
there was, I don't know if you mentioned this with the news report.
Yeah, I'm about to get there.
You are. Okay.
Okay. Keep your panties on.
I'm sorry. I thought that it happened before this. That's why I was curious. I thought it happened like years before this.
Okay. During the investigation, literally, that was literally the next thing I was going to say.
Oh.
During the investigation, someone leaked it to the media. Herb found out. He ran. He drove through Michigan to Canada. Exhausted, he stopped to get a nap and park under a bridge. A Mountie woke him up and told him to move along.
A
That
Mountie?
a Canadian Mountie, that's their cops.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. The RCMP, they call them the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Oh, it's mounted police. Okay,
Yeah,
I gotcha. I
yep,
gotcha.
yep. So he noticed that there were boxes full of videotapes in the back seat, but that's not illegal, so he let him go with a warning. It's unlikely that we will ever know what was on those tapes. It's presumed that Herb destroyed them. Herb left from under the bridge and drove to a park on the shores of Lake Huron. He began to write what would become his suicide letter. He apologized for leaving his family in financial ruin and making a beautiful spot ugly. Rambled on about having one bullet in his gun so he could keep children safe in case they found his body.
Oh.
Then he said he was going to eat a peanut butter sandwich and go to sleep. He signed it the Herb Baumeister. He then fired one shot into his forehead, ending his life and closing the investigation.
You fucking coward. I swear to God. You. I didn't know that he did that.
Yeah. That closed the investigation. I'm just saying. They didn't search anymore for anything
At
because
all?
because the investigation was closed. Obviously he did it, he killed himself. He didn't admit to it. There was nothing in the letter about the killings. There was nothing in the letter about him being gay. There was nothing in the letter about him being a homicidal maniac. There was none
Well,
of that.
he did say in the letter, taking a beautiful thing and making it ugly.
Yeah. He did say that, but that could mean many things. And I think it could also be viewed that he meant there at the park where he killed himself.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm not done. Calm down. What are you fucking talking about?
the part of him being on the news and the farm was behind him.
Oh, there was, yeah, yes. Actually, why don't you tell that? Yeah, you can tell that because I didn't include that anywhere, but it was really funny about the raccoon.
That's why I was like, yeah. I don't even remember specifically crazy. Like, was it somebody was about to hit it or something? And I don't know. There was like
on the side of the road for days, and they painted the people that put the yellow stripe down the road just didn't kick him out of the way or move him or anything. They just painted right over his head. There's pictures of it. Yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah, he was on the news And Fox Hollow Farm was right behind him
Yes.
when he was
And
on the news.
he also said, well, I guess those guys' careers should have a chalk outline around them because I guess their careers are over now. Yeah.
God. Yeah,
Yes.
that's why I was like, she hasn't. That's why I was like, oh, I thought it happened like years earlier. Because I don't
That did
remember when
happen years earlier.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't have
Okay.
anything to listen. There's so
No, it
much to
didn't
this.
have.
It didn't have
Oh,
anything to do with
yeah.
the case, so I just let it go. But yeah, you definitely should tell that.
I just thought that was
Yeah,
funny.
you definitely. It was crazy. That was crazy. I'm like, who is this?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wild.
Julie and the kids moved into another property that they owned in Indianapolis and never returned.
Okay.
And that was that. The house and the property were eventually sold to Robert and Vicki Graves in 2009. They wanted a horse farm, and the price eventually negotiated to right. They were made aware of the prior history, but it was not a deterrent. Here's what everybody's been really waiting for. The scary stories. Okay.
Scary stories.
The house sat uninhabited for a few years, so there were several repairs and some wildlife issues, but nothing they couldn't handle. It didn't take long for the family to settle in. Also, it didn't take long for the spirits to begin to show themselves. Vicki was in the pool area, tidying up. While running the vacuum, it stopped. Surprised, she looked at the plug and it was not in the socket. She thought she yanked it out by accident. She straightened the cord, plugged it back in, and got back to work. Again, the vacuum died. She looked back at the cord and saw the plug a foot away from the socket. On the floor was plenty of slack. She couldn't figure it out because there was plenty of slack. So she shrugged it off, plugged it back in, and got back to it. As she started to move the vacuum further from the wall, she looked at the plug to make sure she wasn't unplugging it again, when it suddenly flew out of the wall in front of Julie's eyes. She started to feel like someone didn't want her there, and this was the first of innumerable encounters the family would have.
They're like,
Crazy.
I'm trying to rest here.
Yeah, you shouldn't be in here. People die in here. You should leave. That's literally what they're telling them.
No, literally. They're like, this is not a safe space. You gotta go.
A few months after they settled in, Robert invited a friend from work to come and have a look at the Fox Hollow apartment, which was attached to the main building. It was upstairs and they had a nice separate entrance and things. It's nice. I think I have pictures of it I sent to you maybe. His name was Joe LeBlanc and he really liked it. Robert and Vicki did give him the rundown on the history, but he didn't believe in the paranormal. He and his dog Fred moved in right away. It had a separate entrance and everybody could still enjoy their privacy. The very first night, Joe had a horrible, vivid nightmare about being chased in the woods. It was so real that when he awoke, bolting upright, he launched himself out of his bed running. He ran, banging his head against the door frame. He had never had a dream so vivid. So that's the very first night. It's the very first night.
I'm looking here at the pictures too, because I totally forgot you sent them. The pool's inside?
Yes. Yeah. I think it's Olympic size. It's enormous. Yeah.
It looks big. So the very first night he's having this dream.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't believe in the paranormal, remember? But he also had never had such a vivid dream.
God.
Robert and Vicki were outside talking. Robert had his back to the woods. Vicki became distracted. She could see a man just inside the wood line with a red shirt on. When he stepped out a little closer, Vicky could see that he had no visible anatomy from the thighs down. He then vanished. He didn't walk away, he just disappeared. She told Robert what she had just seen, and he went to go check to make sure there were no true crime looky-loos, which happened now and then. But he found no one. Joe was very happy to be able to walk Fred off leash on this vast property. He was well trained, and there were no leash laws at Fox Hollow Farm. So every night after dinner, off they go.
Is Fox Hollow Farm, like, just for clarification, is this a neighborhood?
Nope, it's the name
Or
of
is
their
this
farm. Yeah.
of their specific, how, you might have said this, but how big is it?
18 acres.
Okay.
Yeah, it
So
said
why would there be leash laws on their
there's
farm?
no leash laws, but there are in town, and that's where he lived. That's why he liked it
Oh,
there,
I
because he
see.
could walk his buddy off leash.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so every night after dinner, off they go. They usually traveled along the long winding driveway to the front gate and back. About a month after moving in, Joe and Fred were strolling along when they heard something moving in the woods. Not shocking, considering the amount of wildlife in the area. Typically, Fred would not be very reactive to such a sound. Tonight, however, he perked up his ears, turned towards the woods, and let out a deep growl, hackles up. Joe asked his friend, "What's out there?" Without hesitation, Fred bolted into the woods, viciously barking. That's when he saw him, the figure of a man with a red shirt and jeans. As he moved through the trees, Joe could see that he had no legs from the thighs down. The man then, who looked solid a moment ago, was becoming transparent right before Joe's eyes. Then he was gone. It took a few moments for Joe to realize he had just seen a ghost. Still on a mission to recover his dog, Joe took out his flashlight and entered the woods.
Oh, God.
The further he got in, the more unsettled he became. He moved cautiously deeper in, trying to get a glimpse of his dog. He heard his buddy's low growl and moved his flashlight towards the sound, and 20 feet in front of him was Fred and the young man in the red shirt. Again. Joe was overwhelmed with fear. "Come on, Fred," he commanded, and the two of them ran out of the woods and didn't stop until they were inside the apartment. Once he calmed down, he told Robert and Vicky what happened. Vicky told Joe about her sighting of the same apparition, and they were both shocked at how their descriptions were exactly the same. Not only the description, but the manner in which he disappeared was the same. Robert believed his wife and his friend, but still had seen nothing for himself.
He's the one who had the dream, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The renter experienced to now, I don't believe that Robert Graves has experienced anything on his own. I think it's been like his wife and his friend Joe, who doesn't live there anymore. He moved out. I mean, he stayed for a while though. I mean, it didn't run him out. But he did eventually move. And then Joe and the Graves family had many times found bones on the property, as small as a fragment or two, as big as a femur. They would call the University Forensic Anthropology Department and bring the artifacts to Dr. Naraki. He would authenticate them and catalog them with the thousands of samples they already have from Fox Hollow. He estimated that they have recovered only about 50% of what's left on the property. I mean, I believe that because it was scattered. It was scattered. How are you ever going to... Animals drag that stuff off. You're never going to get it all. It's like a glitter bomb. Like 10 years from now, you're going to find glitter from that bullshit. So
No,
yeah,
literally.
yeah.
How many men disappeared, did you say, in the Indianapolis area alone?
Um, oh no, there were dozens. There were dozens and dozens. I believe 13 is the number of victims that have been identified. I believe that's the sitting number now.
Because
Um,
they like DNA that eventually?
some of them, but
Okay.
most of the families couldn't afford it, and by now I don't know what anybody else has done. Also, I don't even know how that works exactly because
I don't either.
okay, here's my, I don't know, however much it was in 1990. Here's my $3,000 for this DNA. How do you begin to test? How do you begin to test? You have thousands of
I don't
bones.
know.
I don't even know how
Yeah.
that works.
I
So,
would assume that they would just sample each one and compare that to the sample from a family member, like a blood relative,
right.
is what I would think. But
They, yes, yeah.
I don't know how they extract that from bone or anything. Like I don't
No, it's a,
the actual like
yeah, I just don't know. How do you decide? Okay, let's just say I'm missing. Let's say I'm missing,
yeah,
and there are thousands of bones to choose from. So Uber's
yeah.
looking for me, and they're like, okay, and he's like, okay, here's your $3,000. Please return my wife to me. Where do you start in that mountain of evidence? What do you do? How do
Yeah.
I have
I
no
don't know.
idea. I would love to talk to somebody that knows. Hey, if somebody that knows is listening, we would love to talk to you.
We'd love to know. Like, could they go based on listen, my death investigations class might teach me this. Um, would they go based on how new and old the I don't even know how they begin to tell that, but how new or old the evidence looks to be? Does that make sense?
I
Like if
think
you
it's pretty easy
disappeared
to age them, but I don't know that you can age it down to, well, is she 45 or 50? You know what I mean? Like,
No,
I
no,
don't,
no. I just mean like in the aspect of like these bones have been here for what seems to be 10 years compared to these look fresh. If you disappeared a year ago, is there some like common in between of like bones that they estimate to be from a year or two ago? Does that make sense?
well, I know that he walked into that where, the very first spot and looked at what, the scattered bones that he found in the teeth and immediately said, these are not old bones. He didn't say how
Yeah.
old they were, but he definitely was like, these are not old. And it turned out that what he considered to be not old was about 15 years. They were about 15 years old.
That's not
So,
old. That's
yeah,
not old to
well,
him.
because he's an anthropologist, honey. He works with bones that are thousands of years old. He's not a
Yeah, that's
criminologist.
fair. That's fair. That's fair. He's like, this isn't old. It's maybe like 15 years old. You're
Right,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
that's fair.
Yes.
That's true. Okay.
Okay. There are so many stories about the hauntings of Fox Hollow Farm. We could probably do a 4 to 5 part series over the hauntings alone. The
Really?
same could be said about the crimes of Herb Baumeister and his victims. Most
Yeah.
of my information I have gathered from 2 sources that I highly recommend. The Horrors of Fox Hollow Farm is a book written by Richard Estep and Robert Graves.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that is the same Robert Graves. Fox Hollow Murders, a Hulu 4-point documentary. I can't tell you how good it is. It's so
Really?
good. Robert Graves was also involved in this project. The doc does not touch on the hauntings at all, but the book does.
Okay.
But let me say this, I have not revealed all of the details of the story. Thanks to the present day Hamilton County coroner, shout out to Jeff Jellison, this case has been reopened.
Oh, hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. I was so excited.
Because why would you not finish that?
I'm not sure what the politics of that was, but whenever they tried, because that female detective Mary Wilson did try, she was told she was wasting the county's money because he was
On
already dead.
finding missing people who
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
to like be this way, but who cares if he's dead? Like, these are still missing people.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, Jeff Jellison, the case has been reopened. You will hear from him in this documentary. You will also hear about new theories involving people that I've told you about today. There are twists and turns and definite maybes. You will see victims, families speak earnestly about their experiences and shared memories of their loved ones. See it. That's all. Just see it. A memorial for these victims has been created and is located 4 miles from Fox Hollow Farm at Hamilton Memorial Park in Westfield, Indiana. Victims' families, both confirmed and suspected, gather here a few times a year. If you have any information concerning the Fox Hollow Farm case, we urge you to contact Jeff Jellison, Hamilton County Coroner's Office at 317 770 4415. That's all I have. It was a lot.
So, as far as the hauntings go, have they ever figured out or like suspected who the man in the red shirt could be?
Well, let me tell you a little something about these hauntings. I will reveal this. I do want people to go on and watch the documentary. It was amazing. But the very first paranormal investigators that Robert Graves brought to the house was Zach Baggins and his crew. So it was demons, it's demons.
Please tell me you're lying right
I'm
now.
I'm not lying. There have been others, and the book goes into that quite a lot, actually, and they talk about that, and then they talk about probably a more legit paranormal company after that actually writes a few stories for them about their experiences at Fox Hollow. But yeah, yes, Zach Baggins. Why? Well,
I'm gonna bite my tongue. Did you watch the episode?
no, I'm
Or
not.
did you see
I
anything
am not
with
giving him a like. I'm not giving him a view.
Yeah.
I'm giving him nada. I mean, okay, I'm sure he sleeps on his giant pile of money, being so sad that I watch his shit. But I'm not contributing to that. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. I wonder, like, I also do not want to contribute to that. And that's all I'll say about that. But I do wonder what they concluded from their investigation.
I don't know. I started reading that part,
Like,
and it was like, and then I saw the word demons, and I'm like, I'm out. I'm done with this chapter.
They said that?
Yeah, demons. It's demons. Yeah, I didn't read the whole thing though, so I don't know. I don't know what they absolutely concluded because I was like, I don't even care about this. Let's move on. Yeah.
Like, I encourage anybody who is listening to this episode to listen to any of our other paranormal episodes. And I want to reinforce that not everything is a demon, and it's actually very uncommon to come across a demonic haunting. I will leave that there. I mean, I'm definitely interested in hearing more about the paranormal experiences and such that they had. I think the dream is very interesting. He's never had like any other dreams or anything either.
Honey, there were so many experiences. Yeah, he's had tons.
Oh, he has, but he hasn't like actually encountered.
No, he has encountered a lot of shit and maybe not so much more dreams. He's encountered so much there. And so has Vicky. So is Robert's wife. Vicky. She has experienced so many things. There was an experience that Joe, their renter, had in the pool. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, it was,
I think I've heard about that one.
yeah. Yeah, I just want people to watch it.
Interesting.
It's so good.
Yeah.
They did such a really, really, yeah. Hulu's tightened up their game.
Okay, I'll have to go watch it. I I wonder if I mean, I would suppose not considering she's never spoke on it on Herbert's wife if she ever had any experiences. Like I find it interesting that they leave and the new owners are the ones who have all the activity.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Am
it
I making
seems
sense?
like they potentially could have had activity from the jump of moving in there because
Yeah,
he started killing people right away.
if not before.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean on the end on the property
No,
he
I
started
know.
killing people. Yeah.
I know.
Um like as soon as he was like, "Oh my god, privacy? Hell yeah. I'm into it." Yeah. Yeah. I feel really bad for listen, I'm just going to say with this documentary, get your tissues ready. It's rough. Yeah. It's rough. That's all I'll say.
I mean, everything about this case for some reason just like makes me so mad.
It wasn't handled right. It wasn't. The new coroner
I
said that.
agree.
He said he's embarrassed of the way that it was handled. He wasn't even
I mean,
involved, but he's
I was
embarrassed.
about to
Yeah.
say like it ain't his fault, but yeah, I mean it's God, so much. I can't make sense of why they would just stop after he killed himself.
Well,
Like I
watch the
can't
documentary and you'll be even more frustrated. Yeah.
really.
Mm-hmm. It's good. It
Like
was
cuz
worth
it
every
doesn't
minute. Mm-hmm.
I can't think of like would there be a reason for somebody to pay people off in that case to make them
No.
stop? But it doesn't make sense because they
Mm-mm.
would have already found stuff anyways.
No, this
So,
was all about somebody who didn't want them to know, the outside world to know that Indianapolis had a serial killer, that they had such a large homosexual community, that, there were 4 gay bars in their downtown. Like, and oh, by the way, also just outside of town, there is a farm that has probably 50 to 60 people dead on it. Yeah.
I hate to break this to most people, but there's serial killers everywhere.
Listen,
Like it's so I understand the necessities of tourism, especially in certain cities and locations. But if there's a serial killer, there's a serial killer.
they're everywhere.
They're
There's
everywhere.
probably at least 2 or 3 in the state I'm sitting in right now. And I know my buddy that lives, in near Houston, she's sending me shit every day about people that are dead. Oh, but they're not linked. That's how it starts always, They're not linked. There's
Oh,
there's
of
nothing
course.
about these deaths that are
Don't
linked. Mm-hmm.
don't get me started on the smiley face murders down there.
Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
Like
it's upsetting.
it's God. And I don't mean to rail into his wife as hard as I did, but like
She
shit,
was a
it's one of
victim
those
also.
of course. But it's like you know that you're married to somebody who isn't totally stable. In whatever regards that means for people. Like
Mm-hmm.
if like you say he's going in and out of psych wards and stuff and now you're finding bones, and it's almost like that form of denial where it's like, no, this can't be real. This can't be real. And it's so frustrating because it's
Mhm.
like we put these rose colored glasses on ourselves when we're in relationships. It was all right there.
Mhm. It was
Do you think
literally
that she
50 feet off her patio. It was.
Well, do you think that she ever had a sneaking suspicion at any point in time, even before all of this, that he was maybe gay?
No, I don't think that she did, and I don't think that was uncommon back then. And also, I mean, they were churchy. They were real churchy, heavy involved, and I don't think that she had she might or maybe not have had an inkling about his sexual proclivities, but I don't believe that that those missing men were ever on her radar at any time. Not just because it's her husband, just because
Yeah.
she's churchy and that's not the
Yeah.
circle that she's traveling
No,
in.
I can totally see that. Shoot, what was I about to ask? Oh my god, what was I about to ask? Oh, I don't remember if it was this case or not. Did they have Was there a time where like they just weren't very like sexually active? I don't know why I thought that that was a part of this case where like aside from having their kids, they just weren't very
No, I don't. I mean, I didn't
Okay.
see anything like that mentioned in the book or the doc, but she was gone a lot in the summertime. That's why when Virgil, the PI, put it together that, oh shit, and not only are they gay and they're missing from these clubs in downtown Indianapolis, but also they they're missing during the warm months. So that's when she was gone. She would take the kids and go to her
Okay.
folks or, whatever, and spend weeks and months while daddy worked.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy. RIP to the victims. Condolences to
Yeah.
the families.
The ones we know and the ones we don't.
Exactly. I'm so sorry for your loss and I'm so sorry for your experience.
I mean, that's gotta be. Ugh, God. Yeah. I yeah. I'm speechless. Like I I can't.
Yeah, go
There's
watch it.
so much that we
Go
don't
watch it
know
right now.
about this case.
And and that is on the book that I recommend is on Amazon Unlimited.
Okay.
Or not, I mean
Kindle
Kindle
Unlimited?
Unlimited. Yeah, Kindle
Yeah.
Unlimited. So for sure, it's good. It's thorough. Yeah.
I might have a
Yep.
certain section I need to skip over on that. God. Well, any final thoughts on Fox Hollow?
No, I think I might like to see it sometime. I think
Do they I can't remember. Was this a like B&B at this point now too? No,
no.
it's still
No,
okay.
No, it's a private residence still,
Okay.
and they do run people off their property. They
Oh,
don't.
I bet they do.
Yeah, they don't want that. No, you're not coming back, digging around in my woods, getting the spirits all upset. Get lost. Get lost.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Amityville's the same way.
Well,
Or at
yeah, of
least
course. Yeah.
last I heard, Amityville is the same way.
Yeah.
Even the
So,
Conjuring house, they before the previous owner, they were chasing people off all the time. Because it was another paranormal family who owned it before she did. So
yeah.
they always talked about people coming up and just like, yeah.
Yeah, all I'm saying is I know there's a trend for people to do this urban exploring and stuff like that. be safe is what I'm going to say. I don't recommend it is the other thing I'm going to say. Also, I will never recommend that anybody go on to somebody's private property snooping. It's a good
Yeah.
way to get shot. It's a good way to get arrested. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Don't,
mean, I
don't.
I would even say that with some of the abandoned places too, and some of it with people and the other parts of it with just safety. You never know if floors are going to fall through or stairs are going to give out, or I mean some of these places, especially places that we'll go on and talk about, are just unsafe.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm way more afraid of falling through a floor than I am a demon. I'm just going to say
100%.
my chances of falling through the floor are much greater in a rickety old house than falling into the arms of a demon. Yeah.
I'm so much more afraid of people. There was an episode of, I always get them confused. I think they used to be Destination Fear and now they're Project Fear, right? Did I get that right?
I get them. Yeah, don't start me lying. I
I
know
I
you're talking
I
about those
think
cute
they're,
kids. Yeah.
yes. But there was one episode in particular, and I'd need to go back and see the actual location, but it was an abandoned building that they got the keys to. And like they got all the permissions and everything. But I think they went there twice, if I'm not mistaken. And like the one time they were like, no, that was a whole person. There's like a human in here. And that almost made me pee myself. Like to just be like out in this rural area in this abandoned building and you look and you even bring your camera, because I think they caught it on camera and they're like, that's a real, like that was a real person. There's no way that wasn't a real person. Which, was it a real person? Maybe not. Maybe it was just a full bodied apparition. But the thought for me of that being a real person, I'm out. That will get me out of a building.
No, it
That will
won't.
get me out of a building.
I
A,
won't
a
let you
real
leave.
person? A real person?
I no, it's fine. It'll be fine. I'll help you. It'll be okay.
A real person? Give me a ghost all day, every day. All day, every day. A kid ghost, an adult ghost, a demon, a person. Being in that pitch black, being in the pitch black and seeing it settles me beyond belief, obviously. I'm
Yeah.
incredibly unsettled.
I mean, humans are scarier than ghosts. That's just a fact.
A
Yeah.
lot of people think the opposite because they're like, well, I can kill a human. And I'm like,
Can you? Can you? Everybody thinks they can, but can you?
literally.
Yeah.
God.
Yep. So,
Well, I guess with that, feel free to, if you have any information, case suggestions, opinions, literally anything, feel
Fox
free to
Hollow
email us.
information. If anybody
Literally anything. Yeah.
has any information about anything that happened at Fox Hollow, we want to hear it. Have you been there?
Yeah.
Did Herb take you there?
Not Herb.
Did you
Oh,
survive
God.
it? Mark did.
I was going to say, I wonder if there are more survivors.
I don't know.
And maybe they just
None
never,
like
like,
this guy. I can tell you that. They interview him. You'll talk. You'll see him. They interview him.
well,
He's
feel
one of
free
a
to
kind.
email us at the Chamber of Shadows at gmail.com. Did you see my brain give up on me?
I don't know what just happened.
I thought for some reason I said at the Chamber of Shadows, and I was like, the at comes after the Chamber of Shadows. Email us at the Chamber of Shadows at gmail.com. Feel free to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at the Chamber of Shadows. I have your pictures. I will get them posted.
Thank you.
And with that,
See
adios,
it.
sayonara, peace
See it.
out.
See it. See it.
See
Watch
it.
it. Watch it.
Oh, yeah, literally. Literally.
You
Go
won't be
watch.
disappointed, I
Tell
promise.
us tell us what you think. All right. Bye.
Bye.